How's it going, guys? This is my theory video on the Ope Ope no Mi, which I will do a breakdown, I will do an awakening theory, I will also go through the weaknesses, strengths, basically a breakdown. The Ope Ope no Mi, in my opinion, is probably the strongest devil fruit in the One Piece verse. A lot of people have different opinions on that. Akainu's fruit, the magma fruit. We have the light fruit with Kizaru. We also have the darkness fruit and the Gura no Mi. I think the Gura no Mi and the darkness fruit, great offense and great defense. We can also talk about Marco's fruit. Marco's fruit has regenerative abilities. We can also go to Kuma's fruit, which is the paw fruit. We've seen the destructive power of that fruit and how it can be used as a defensive capability as well. These fruits are all strong in their own right, but I think the Ope Ope no Mi definitely takes the cake. The Ope Ope no Mi, I think, is the most versatile fruit because of what it can do, and the possibilities are endless, I believe. But let's dive right into it, and let's talk about the common moves that Law uses. Law uses a wide array of moves in different situations. His most common move, though, is the amputate, where in his room, but let's touch on that. Room is the base of everything that Law does. He creates a sphere, and then he can manipulate anything that's within that room. When you're in Law's room, you're on his operating table. Anything goes in Law's room. It's kind of fitting. It's the operating room, right? I think I'm the last person to get that. I just realized that just now. Another move he has is shambles. Room. Shambles. That's one of my favorite things to say. But this is where Law, he can switch places of anything that's within the room. He can switch a decapitated Marine's head for a cannonball. I mean, that's what he does within the room. That's his thing. We also have Mess. Mess is what Law does when he strikes an opponent in the chest with his bare hand, causing their heart to expel out of their body. We see him do this to Smoker, and he can basically do that to anybody as long as they're within his room. I think this is a cool move because it comes out in a square shape, and then you have that person hostage. Another one was Tact. Tact is when Law uses telekinesis to levitate an object. So those are Law's common moves that we see often, that he uses against everybody basically, but he has some special moves as well. So we're going to get into the special moves. One of them are counter shock. Counter shock is basically a defibrillator, where he puts his hand on your chest and it's electrical surge. An electrical surge goes through your body. That is counter shock. Another move is radio knife. Radio knife is an upgraded version of amputate, which is like a regular slash, but when he cuts through you, you cannot attach to your body right away. We saw that with Trable as well. He was experimenting on Trable a lot, or he was showcasing his talents on Trable. Injection shot. That's one of my favorite moves that Law uses. When he sticks you with a sword and he uses sword like a gun and he fires. But injection shot is a cool move, and it shows the versatility of what Law can do. Now this is my favorite move, Gamma Knife. Gamma Knife is basically where Law creates a short blade. It's like a blade of energy in his hand, and he swipes you with it. So now outside it shows no damage, but inside your internal organs are destroyed. Really? He destroys your internal organs. Like, that's crazy. Use it on Doflamingo, obviously. That's the huge move that people say that's the reason why Luffy beat Doflamingo. You know, let's not go there. He used that on Doflamingo. Doflamingo's hacked fruit as well. That's one of the strongest fruits, I think, in this series. His string fruit, where he could repair his organs with his strings. That's crazy. But he used that on Doflamingo. I think on almost anybody else other than Whitebeard, because he has no organs. It's been confirmed. He has no organs. I think Oda did an SBS, right? An SBS? Yeah, Oda didn't. But anybody else, I think, it would have been more difficult for them to recover. But then we don't know these hacked abilities that these people have anyway. They probably have super hacked abilities where they regenerate inside their bodies. Maybe Blackbeard, his darkness fruit, inside his body, his organs are in another dimension. So if you hit him, you're just hitting nothing because he's moved his organs to another dimension when he's in his awakening mode. You know, that's a good theory. Don't steal that, people. That's my theory. Now let's talk about these strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to touch on the weaknesses first because the Ope Ope no Mi is already considered a strong fruit, and a lot of people overlook the weaknesses that it has. And I think it has a few, not that many, but it has some things that people could take advantage of and capitalize on. The first thing and the obvious thing is the fact that he has to use room, and the target has to be within that room for it to work. Now, it could be a detriment and it could be a strength based on the size of the room. If Law increases his size of the room, which I think will happen over time, then, that wouldn't matter, because if he's going against somebody, more than likely you're going to have to be, somewhat within close distance where they're going to have to engage with Law. So the room size really isn't going to matter because it's going to be an extensive range. We've seen the size that Law's room can get to versus Virgo when he cut that mountain in half. Yeah, we've seen that Law can do those things. So that's the first drawback, where they have to be within the room for it to work. Someone with like Kizaru and Luffy, with their speed, it could, even Doflamingo, they could go in and out of that room if need be with their speed, where they could come and they could attack Law and a last second or millisecond jump out of that room and avoid his attack. But then again, like I said, based on the size of the room, that will not matter. Another one that was really obvious was the stamina thing. It kind of got ridiculous during the end of Dressrosa because Law was still doing things. It was like a couple hours ago you were just saying that you're out of energy and you're doing these different things when you're out of energy. But it's been said that you can overuse the Ope Ope no Mi, but it could shorten your lifespan. So Law was probably shortening his lifespan when he was using the Ope Ope no Mi past his limit. So that's one of the detriments, that he has to do a lot of things for his moves to work. First, he has to use the room, and it shows that he has to concentrate for these things to work. Because versus Virgo, I believe, Virgo was managed to get his heart because he wasn't concentrating. He managed to distract him. So Law has to use room and he has to concentrate. The other thing is the hand gestures. With all Law's moves, there are hand gestures that he has to do. I think that's something that could be a drawback, because when you're going against someone that's faster, using your hand for these certain moves, you're not going to be able to keep up with these beast opponents. We saw that versus Doflamingo, that Law just couldn't keep up. Doflamingo was kind of OP compared to Law. Like, Law's issue was he just couldn't keep up, and then his hockey game was on a different level compared to Doflamingo's. Hockey is definitely something that works against the Ope Ope no Mi, but that works against any devil fruit. If you have a strong hockey game, then you can oppose anyone with a devil fruit. I think the question here is hockey more valuable than having a great devil fruit? I think hockey is more important in the new world right now, but having a great devil fruit is just like a cherry on top. Having hockey in the new world has shown to be the end-all be-all. I mean, you see Law versus Virgo, and that shows that the devil fruit beat out the hockey, but then it's like, was Law's hockey game stronger than Virgo's? I mean, he went full body hockey, full armament hockey, and Law just cut through him like a slice of cheese. I remember on a live stream one time I brought up the fact that what if hockey is like Nen in Hunter x Hunter, where when you go full body, it's not concentrated in one spot. So then once you go full body, you're kind of limited everywhere. You're covered everywhere, but you're not as strong as you would be if you just covered your chest, or you covered your arm, or you covered your forehead in Luffy's case. So I think that has something to do with it, where Law could cut through. Instead, if he did hockey at one place when Law was about to cut, maybe he would have stood a chance. So that's another opposing, and I don't know if it's a weakness, but hockey can deter the effects of the Ope Ope no Mi. The possible awakenings that, in my opinion, would definitely hacks the Ope Ope no Mi. I would think the use of the room expanding to cover basically an island. I think that would be an awakening, where it expands, where it covers an island. So, in essence, Law can do anything he wants to anyone around him because of the room. And I think as an awakening, if he's awakened, it covers the whole area. So by Law just looking at something, he can do it, because everywhere where he is would be his operating room. I think that would be definitely something he can develop if he goes on to become a Yonko. Because if he does that and develops that, that could definitely be a reason for him to be a Yonko, because no one would want to go against him, because if you're in his room, you would be at his mercy. Another awakening possibility is the fact that he wouldn't have to use these hand gestures. He would think about it and it would be done, as long as he's in awakening mode. A lot of times we see him using the hand gestures to do everything, and he has to really concentrate while using these hand gestures. If he's awakened, then he wouldn't have to use these hand gestures. His hands could be in his pocket. He could have his sword in his hand, and he could do the same things that he's been doing, being beast with the Ope Ope no Mi. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I'm a huge fan of this fruit, because I think it's so versatile and just a great fruit. Like, the weaknesses are there. We've just stated them, and what are the possible detriments, but the strengths are limitless. If I had the option of a fruit, I'm more than likely going to choose the Ope Ope no Mi. Let's talk about some of the strengths. I mean, the strengths are obvious. I'm going to really have to touch on this. The fact that you can do surgery without hurting someone. The teleportation. The fact that you can operate and do anything within the room. I think the mess thing and how we can switch people within their different bodies, I think that's so overpowered how he can do that. Because what if he does that and he keeps you like that? Then you're just after, like when he did that to Smoker and to Shigi. Like, they were at his mercy. They had to do whatever he asks. The teleportation thing, I think, is amazing, because say for instance you fell off a cliff, right? You could switch with a pebble that's on the cliff as long as it's within your room. So as long as something's within your room, you can switch with it. So that's why I really like this fruit. I mean, the gamma knife is unbelievable. The radio knife for Logia users, the amputate, tact, it's just all there. The strengths of this fruit are obvious. I really don't have to touch on this. With all that being said, the Ope Ope no Mi is definitely overpowered. Nah, it's OP, okay? It's a great fruit. It's versatile. It's strong. It has a different array of things that you can do with it, and it's not that much of a drop off. I guess in Awakening as well, Law would have to work on his stamina, because while you're in Awakening mode, it would drain more of your stamina. But that's about it, guys. Let me know what you think about the Ope Ope no Mi. Personally, that's my favorite fruit. I think it's amazing. It has everything that you would need in a fruit. If I was a pirate, I would feel secure having the Ope Ope no Mi. Like, I know Law right now, he's one of everybody's favorite characters because he's a boss, because of the Ope Ope no Mi. Isn't it fitting that it's in the shape of a heart too? The Heart Pirates, Trafalgar D Law, Trafalgar D Water Law. Like the video if you did. Comment, subscribe, leave feedback. Any feedback is good feedback. And have a great day, guys.